way that Indra is. He attracts Lakshmi. He is able to, she wants to be with him. She does. She wants to be with him. And so he attracts her. But he's consciously unattached to her. She comes and she goes in his life. And so a lot of the stories within Vaishnav traditions where Vishnu obtains Lakshmi, in the end of the story he loses Lakshmi. In other words, he has to let go of it because his life changes, or he ends a cycle as an avatar. So it's the same way. It really is kind of a reflection on how humans should be with wealth. You can obtain wealth during your lifetime, but then when the lifetime is over, you can't take it with you. It's that old idea that, you know, whatever you get in life, you can't take it with you when you die. So the metaphor within Vaishnavism is that, you know, while Vishnu attracts wealth, he is able to let go of it, and with ease. He has a healthier relationship to Lakshmi than Indra does. The final approach to a relationship with Lakshmi is the relationship that Shiva has with Lakshmi. And Shiva, of course, is the father of yoga. He is a hermit. He's a renunciate. And he's completely indifferent to Lakshmi or wealth. He sees no need for it. He's moved past material attachment, and he's attached only to spiritual ideas and concepts, and so his practice is more important. But we do see how that he relates to her, in that when we talk about the idea of Lakshmi as a goddess, we have to remember that within this tradition that yoga comes out of, that all forms of the goddess are one goddess. They're not multi-individuals. They're actually just different aspects of Parashakti, or the female energy of the universe. Wealth is just one of those aspects. So we see within the Shaiva tradition that Lakshmi comes to Shiva as Parvati, the daughter of the mountain. She is a princess. She is wealth, but it's a identification of wealth as the Himalayas, and she convinces Shiva to marry her. Shiva rejects her over and over again. He doesn't really want to get married. He doesn't want to have a wife. He's unattached to materialism, and she convinces him to marry her. And the marriage is really great to a certain point, until that moment in time where she leaves him because he complains about being a householder, and she goes off and she feeds the poor, and then he comes back and he's able to realize that, you know, even a hermit, a renunciate, has to have a certain amount of wealth in their life to sustain livelihood, food, shelter, just simple basic necessities. But unattached to the idea of consumption for consumer sake, or just consumption necessity of just having stuff, right? This idea that having stuff will make you whole. So when we see in the yogic tradition, we see Indra chasing wealth, we see Vishnu who attracts wealth, and then we see Shiva who is indifferent to wealth. Shiva being indifferent to wealth, Lakshmi, or the goddess, always stays with him. She sees his wisdom, she sees his non-attachment, and she's willing to always stay there. She's always there providing what he needs. And as I was, kind of looking at the news feeds and everything. You know, we're watching people react very badly to the shutdown. We're seeing protests in the Midwest where people are saying we got to get back to business and we got to make money. And really, what this is it's the fact that we've been attached to wealth in a way that's so unhealthy in our culture. I know there are people who are watching from all around the world and are seeing this feed from different countries, but as an American, I can really only, we have a very specific relationship to wealth. For the past 10 years, we've been promoting wealth as the stock market, which is an idea of chasing wealth. We've been promoting a healthy economy as unbridled consumerism, which has led to um, a pandemic, which has led to this interaction with this pandemic where most people, half of households don't have $400 in case of an emergency, because we're trying to keep up with what I call keep up with the Kardashians. It used to be keep up with the Joneses, but now it's kind of let's keep up with the Kardashians. So we're in a state of that we need to really reevaluate our relationship to wealth and money, and what do we need and what do we not need. Um, I don't want to have you feel like that I'm promoting kind of an idea of poverty and minimalism or rejection of any kind of wealth as a way into a higher elevated spiritual practice. That's not the tradition either. The tradition always has been that yoga comes out of has always been that the idea of having a certain amount of wealth so that you can have a peace of mind is the most important thing to a spiritual practice. If you're in a state of poverty and you're always wondering where your next meal is going to come from, you can't have a spiritual practice. But it has also been a tradition of the idea of constantly chasing wealth only to obtain wealth, and is also a misguided use of energy. And so as we move out of this time period, because soon the pandemic will be over. I don't know when, but soon it will come to an end, and people will have to reevaluate their lives, and reevaluate their relationship to making money and obtaining wealth. And I think that what's going to happen is many people are going to realize that they were in this hamster wheel of constantly spinning around trying to keep up with the Kardashians. And they're going to question whether that was of value. Having already, this is like 5 weeks, I think, that we've been shut down, and a 5-week period of not getting onto that subway platform and going into to work, or like pushing to have that next sale, is really going to change the way that people think about obtaining wealth. Some people are going to want to go right back to it. There's always going to be the Indras of the world. But other people are going to reevaluate that. And when they start to reevaluate it, it's going to change the way the economy works on that consumer level. And we have to all be ready for it. Even myself, I mean, we own a studio. I mean, as owning a business, we sell yoga classes. But we're preparing mentally for what kind of changes are going to actually maybe occur or take place within the psyche of our student population. What's really going to be important to them. And so this is true of everybody out there. We think that, if this is going to end and everything is just going to go back to normal, it's not. It's going to be a new normal. What is going to be the new norm? And what is going to be our relationship to that idea of money and making money and our relationship to it. I've given you 3 different variations of reaction to money: chase money, attract money, indifferent. It's your choice. It's your choice. But I do believe that after something as drastic as this happens, there's always the willingness to go inward on an inward journey instead of constantly external. And so we've all had this time period when we've had time to practice our meditation, to contemplate, to be with family. There's your intimate family, and not just constantly be part of the hamster wheel. So as we go into the next phase, you'll take that experience and it will be part of the evaluation of where you want to go in with the future. And so that's a very valid thing to think about moving forward. Like, what do you want from your life? What do you want your life to look like going forward? What do you want your relationship to be with work and wealth and the idea of making money? What is your time worth? And there's not a quick answer to this. This is something that's going to play out over the next months, maybe even a year or two. Taking a moment to sit up tall, and close your eyes, and allow yourself to go on that inward journey. So bring your senses inward and focus on the breath. Allow the breath to deepen. Allow the inhales and the exhales to be extended. And as you inhale, hear the sound of Om within yourself. That primal sound of Aum. The manifestation of a beginning, a middle, and an end. Birth, preservation, and ending. And as you exhale, hear the sound of Om within yourself. As you inhale, see the symbol of Om within your mind's eye. And as you exhale, see the symbol of Om within your mind's eye. Continue deep, full inhales. And continue deep, complete exhales. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Continue to inhale deeply. Continue to exhale fully. Inhale deeply for the sound of Om. Bringing the hands together, rubbing the hands together, building heat within the hands. Bring the hands over the eyes, cup the eyes. Feel the heat from the hands being absorbed into the eyes. And gently open the eyes. Bring the hands across the forehead, the top of the head, the back of the head. Bring the hands together in prayer. Bow the head, let the forehead touch the thumbs. Giving thanks and praise for the teachings and those teachers who have brought us these teachings. Om Bolo Sadguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Thank you all so much for being here today and sharing your meditation practice with me. I will see you tomorrow, and be healthy, stay calm, stay mindful.